Michael, TMI Labs. As promised, I'm going to start posting some videos of some of the projects that I do around here. They're kind of all over the place. This is one where I decided I wanted to use these little channels in here on this crown above the windows on this wall that we just completed to put some LED lighting up there. And I thought it'd be cool to have some addressable stuff. If there's a birthday going on, you could have some fun stuff. Otherwise, it's just be a constant glow, adding a little to the ambiance of it all. We have some stained glass that's going to be going on the left and right windows here. That's coming up pretty soon. But I thought this would be a nice little place to put some lights. I'm not a fan of what's on the left there. That is kind of a holdover from a previous installation before we did the wall. Those need to come down, and we will replace them with a new set that will reside in the crown, the channel of the crown. Just seemed to be perfect. And the fact that those are so close together, the windows are so close together as far as the crown, it should be easy to hide the wires. And these are the LEDs I'll be using. So these are addressable RGBs. They are actually two different makes of the same model of LED strip, and that's going to be a footnote. We'll come back to that later. This is typically how I do wire ups on anything. I have this general purpose. I think it's like a 22 gauge stranded, like almost a bell wire, 4 conductor. And for this project, I don't need one of those. So took one out, and I have a 3 conductor left. You have on addressable LEDs, you will typically have a ground, a power, and a data. And this is how I will normally do is I'll just get the wires that I need and twist them up so it's a nice little neat wiring job. Everything stays together. For this particular application of this, I'm going to be using this one jumper here and one real long one. And the long one, I did this little trick here with the drill, and I'm just doing it here to show you how I do that. And that other line is probably 10 feet. So I had my wife hold on to one end, and I had the drill, and I just zipped it up real quick. So that's how I do that. And worked great. Works every time. I even did it one time when we were working on trying to anchor down our fence around the property. And I ran out of some of those hooks that you use on the bottom of on the deer fencing. They're kind of like candy cane shape, and you hook it into the bottom of the fence and push it into the ground. So I had some wire, and I doubled it over, and I used the drill to double it up and twist it real tight, and that worked like a champ. Anyway, on these LEDs, of course, if you're doing a project like this, using these LEDs, make sure that the arrows are running the same way. So look at it like your power is at the source, your data, your information is at the source, and you're running it down in one direction down the length of the LED. So those arrows are running downward. And your power and your data signal is where your module is. It's going to be going into the first LED 0 will be that first one. And those arrows should all be going away from that. I use leaded solder, my personal preference, and I think here I'm pointing it out. Good stuff. I prefer that. I've used it for 50 years. That's what I use. And I love this little soldering iron too. In fact, I'm going to leave links to everything that I use that I think is notable in the description. When you're going to be putting some solder onto these pads, make sure you give it a quick sand just to kind of rough it up, so that your pads will accept the solder easily. And you'll put a little dab of solder on those pads, and then on your wires you'll tin those wires, and then all you have to do is hold them together and heat them up, and they'll kind of meld together. And that's the way that you should make these contacts. It's pretty easy. It went real well. Usually does. So, as I mentioned before, same model number of LEDs. They're using the same LED unit on all these pieces, but these are remnants from other projects that I did a long time ago. I like these LEDs. They have this little silicone channel that they slide into, and it works really well. I feel it's pretty protected. I use it on the porch. I did a lot of stuff out on the porch, and they work great. And after I do the solder, you see me here. This is another little trick that I do. I've always done this. It's clear nail polish, and just kind of seals things up, so you don't have any exposed solder pads or any wires or anything that could end up getting shorted out or something spill on them. Of course, I don't think anything's going to spill on them where they're at. But yeah, and it also offers a little bit of a strain relief. So clear nail polish. It's really, hopefully, a useful tip for some of you. Works great. I've used it for years, and I will continue doing so. So these, as I was talking about, the LED strips, be careful on these. They look the same. In fact, the silicone sleeve is exactly identical on all of these. However, they came from two different spools, and they look fine. They work. The driver works great with them. The controller, everything is what it's supposed to be. However, there is a slight difference when you have it on white, and I'll show that at the end here. Just make sure all of your LEDs are exactly the same. I don't think there's going to be any difference between batches, but certainly, even though everything looks identical, they were apparently from different manufacturers. I mean, they're using the same ICs in them. They're using the same LED modules, but there's something different about them. And the whites, there is a difference. I'll show it at the end, as I said. But I may end up having to redo this. I'm going to let the non-colorblind wife take a look at it and see if if it's a problem based on what color she chooses as the color that these things are going to be burning at for the most part. If it's going to be white, I mean, if I can see it and I'm colorblind, she probably will too. Never pass up an opportunity to use shrink tube. Use those anytime you have. In this case, I'm just putting wires together at the end of this, or at the beginning, technically, of the run. So that long twisted one I was talking about earlier is right there, and I'm attaching it to the module, the control module for the LED strip. So it's wire on wire. Twist them up, solder them, and then cover them with the shrink tube. Always a good idea to do that. So it only takes a few seconds to do that. And I get that stuff. I have like 1/8" heat shrink tubing that I use on so much of this, and I bought a big roll of it, and that was probably 10 years ago, and I'm still working off of that original roll. So, I'm going to put this together and then do a quick check. There it is. We've got the addressables work. Everything is fine. If you had a problem with your day line, you would have some of those not working. But just a quick check. And then I just set them up there as a quick dry fit. And you can see on this setting, the right one is a little bit brighter. On the other colors, I can't tell any difference. I don't know if she will. I don't think we're going to have it burning white all the time. Might be like a yellow or something that looks good against the wood. But it's just a quick little thing here. Neat little project to get done, and hopefully that helps somebody. Links in the description. If you have any questions, certainly feel free to post those. And I got a lot more coming. You guys have been asking me to post stuff on some of the weird stuff that I do, and this is keeping that promise. Y'all have a wonderful day. See you later.